shout out my homie JR. Dopest Natives Alive, baby. Let's go.
Dopest Natives Alive. Dopest Natives Alive.
Give me chills.
Dopest Natives Alive, Northside Bay. Boom.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your favorite Uncle Rich Unk coming to you from Dopest Natives Alive. Once again in the podcast studio. Today, I got a great guest, a good friend of mine from the community here in Vancouver. He's an actor. He's a mover and shaker on the dance floors. You know, I remember back in the days how he had those real deadly hips, which he brought out to the powwow traditional dance floors. I already mentioned he was an actor. Mm-hmm. He's an activist, a community member. He's a knowledge keeper. We've suffered many rounds in the sweat lodge together. Mm-hmm. We prayed hard together. And we've come together in the community to work together to support our Indigenous community and our brothers in the struggle that they've walked in this community. So I'm grateful to have him here today, and we want to share some of his stories, some of his triumphs, and some of the tribulations, and then also celebrate him as Dopest Natives Alive is set out to do. You know, we once had a program that I worked called Creating Healthy Aboriginal Role Models, and the whole premise behind that was to shine the light and to create role models, Indigenous role models. Mm-hmm. And we did projects where we did research on our own stars and our own leaders and people we should be proud of. Mm-hmm. And today, Dopest Natives Alive carries that tradition on, doing the same thing. So today we want to shine the light on my brother, Curtis Ahenakew.
Thank you.
How are you doing today, Curtis?
Hi. Kanana Skumit and Otawin. Thank you, my brother, to invite me to come on this. You ran on the street. We were walking around, or I was walking by in front of Luma building, and what are you up to? He says, and he's, come check out my podcasting. I said, okay, I'm in. So I'm grateful to be here to celebrate, Indigenous people that are doing their best 2025 to make a difference in Indigenous world. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, I just, thought it was very important to bring you in because of all the years of experience you have in our community, mm-hmm. and also your accomplishments as an actor, and that goes back a long way.
It does,
I believe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was before 1998, Da Vinci's Inquest, if it went that. Was that the beginning?
That's how far back, yeah.
Far back, 1998. That's almost 30 years almost.
Almost, yeah.
How was that journey?
It's interesting that I'm glad you brought Da Vinci's Inquest, that the director, Chris Haddock. Yeah. I read about him, and I saw pictures of him, mm-hmm. and they were doing a shoot on Commercial Drive, and I had to be walking by. This was just fresh out of acting school. Yeah. And I saw him, and I go, "Hey, Chris Haddock," and he looks at me kind of. He said, "I'm an actor, and I'd sure like to act on your show." And he walks over to, and he says, "That took some balls." He said, "Who are you?" I said, "My name's Curtis Ahenakew, and been watching your show for a while now, and just thought I'd straight out ask you." Yeah. And I said, "You know what? You call the office, and not even 2 weeks later, I got a call, and I played a police officer on Da Vinci's Inquest." Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then on Da Vinci's Inquest, was there any? Were you starstruck by any big name actors, or just the process itself?
Just the process itself. What was interesting about that too is that I auditioned for a uniform officer that had lines, and then when I got to the movie set, I went to my truck, and there was a detective, like a uniform, and there was new lines, and I thought, did they get the wrong about taking me to the right trailer? And that driver said, "No, you're Curtis Ahenakew, right? No, this is your," and the line was, "Okay, people, get moving." I get out of a police car, and I played a detective. Yeah. They moved me up to a detective instead of a regular police uniform. So I thought that was pretty cool that happened to me. just that was so awesome.
So how did you, where did you draw reference from in terms of being a police officer? Was it getting chased around the res all those years?
Yeah, funny. Yeah, I definitely have a background of. It's funny. I remember, I was a track and field star when I was in high school.
Oh wow!
Won some gold medals back then. I remember one time in Prince Philip, I just got hammered, and I don't know what happened, but I ended up running from somewhere.
Yeah.
And I was running, and it took like 6-7 police cars to catch me. And then when they caught me, I remember that cop getting on. We got our guy, like you saw on the mic.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's funny you're saying that I do have a little bit of history of walking on what some of our traditional people call the black road.
Oh yeah.
The red road is the road when we walk a sober road,
Yeah.
clean and sober. But it's 2025, and we live in a harm reduction city now. I think people are aware that word clean and sober is kind of, it's old school, but today it's like an addict that wants to get clean or off the drugs. They don't want to use those words anymore because they're too labeling the addict. So I have some awareness about that now, about how to treat any person that is struggling with addiction of sorts. That they hear things, I don't want to smudge because I'm under the influence.
Yeah.
And I think the sage is not going to judge you. Smudge if you want, but it's nice that there's indigenous people that know, they have respect for the medicine.
Yeah.
But I think bring the medicine to the people anyway.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it now, where some of the old school traditionalists, that me and you were raised around, they, no, you got to be sober for 4 days before you come to the sweat. That person, you might save their lives if they're just off the substances for 2 days.
Yeah, it's interesting that you bring that up. I wanted to get to that conversation, because, like you said, it is a difficult road to walk, the red road.
Yeah.
And I think about it a lot in people who are in our community and helping people. I want to talk about this, but I'm going to try to see if I remember it a bit later. But like you said, we've had a similar person we used to sweat with. I consider him a mentor of mine, and that was Joe Manitopius.
Joe Manitopius.
And he really, he really had that compassion in his heart, and I carry those teachings forward about, whatever happens in the sweat lodge is between you and the Creator, not between everybody else here. Right, and there's times people came under the influence, and he said, "Well, if you want to come on in, come on in." Yeah. And you always say, Creator will take care of them, and they would choose to leave, or if they wanted to stay, it was up to them, right? Yeah. I really respect that line of teaching, because I think a lot of times there's a very black and white thinking. It has to be this way or that way. Yeah. There's no room for flexibility. Today, I was thinking about this saying that somebody mentioned to me that was, I'm only human, right? And that was used, and no offense if you know who I'm talking to me was used almost like a cop-out, like, hey man, I'm only human, I make mistakes and stuff. Yeah. But when I hear that I'm only human, it kind of, to me, it devalues what it means. Like, human beings, we are super resilient, super powerful. Yeah. And to not honor that side of that, to say, yes, I am only human, which means I can overcome anything, and I'm resilient. Yeah. And don't use that, well, I'm only human, as a way to enable sadness, sickness, sorrow, suffering, poor me, because you can accomplish a lot just by being that, right? Yeah. Yes. So do you find that there's a lot of correlation in the movies with do you see a lot of spirituality or any type of incorporation?
Well, I'm glad you're asking me that, because that last TV show that I was on, Nancy Drew, it's popular. It had its last season. I happened to get in on the last season. Adam Beach was on there playing a police officer, a sheriff in that TV show. So it was awesome that I got on that the last season. But what's significant about that particular episode on Nancy Drew, you can Google it, YouTube it, now it's on. But Robin Gibbons, the famous black model actress that was married to Mike Tyson, has started a career on directing TVs and films now. And she directed that film. Yeah. And I just sent her an email. And the email is, Robin, I wrote a feature film. And I'd sure like to know if you have time to read it, because she's a busy woman. And I said, because you and I know Hollywood isn't writing lead roles for Indigenous actors. There's some, but it's still a slow climb. Like Adam has been one of our guys that have had some co-leads. Yeah. Suicide Squad, he's on there for like 30 seconds. And the Flags of Our Fathers, he was the lead in that. Yeah. So, but what we need is more... I'm telling you, all you young writers that have any writing skills, we need you to write movies. We need you to write feature films that have an Indigenous lens. Yeah. We need more writers, because Hollywood ain't going to do it. We have to do that, just like the hip-hop artists, just like the rap artists. You guys and sisters, you create the art. And that feature film that I wrote, my girlfriend who's in here, helped me, encouraged me to write again. So I've written plays that have won awards, and I've written some short films with Nathaniel Arcan. Yeah. But what we need is that feature film is written through my eyes and my experience. Yeah. One guy asked me, is it like an autobiography? There's some real moments I could almost put based on real events, because some of it is my experience in there. Yeah. About finding spirituality. I play a character is in prison for killing a guy who is a known rapist. Yeah. We all know about what's that guy who was out here killing people, our sisters.
Picton?
Picton, yeah. Yeah. So there's a little bit of that, and I hit him, and I knock him out, and he falls and cracks his head open. Yeah. So I get carded for murder and do a certain amount of time. And in there, I meet the Brotherhood, and I start to learn from a teacher in there, and then there's a story in there where I'm sitting with my grandfather. I have a flashback where I see my grandfather talking to me. Grandson, he says, what do we do when people are mean to me at school? Why, what's happening, grandson? There's a white boy pulling my hair. Sometimes, grandson, you gotta fight. Sometimes you gotta fight. Yeah. And you can ask for help. And he's talking about the ancestors. Yeah. It's written throughout the script where I'm turning to that for help, even though there's some guys coming at my nephew. Yeah. Who doesn't kind of believe in it. He starts doing some business with a cannabis store. But the movie's about a character that has to make a choice again about community and family. Well, you know, what people would think that ain't right to do what he's going to do, but he believes that he's got to fight. Yeah. He's got to stand up for his family. And if that means asking some old bros to come in and help him, then he's going to do it. Yeah. So I'm convinced that we need to continue to create our own work.
Yeah, and it's cool that you mentioned that, because again, I mean, we're on the same wavelengths, because I just finished shooting some stories to ask people to come and join me to sit and to have a conversation over podcasts and stuff. Yeah. But really, we need to create these platforms like this, for example, to showcase our talented people in our community. Mm-hmm. Because I was watching the other day, a Byron Allen Griot Award show. Okay. And a lot of the times, like the people accepting rewards, they were saying stuff like, thankful to Byron Allen for creating this, to honor us, from us, And we need to work together to do that. So I've really been pushing this message recently about stronger together than apart. Do you find, like when you mentioned Adam Beach, you mentioned Nathaniel Arcan, do you find it's hard to work with another Indigenous person because I say it like they think they're chief and council all of a sudden, and they got something that you don't, you know what I mean? And there's no collaboration there. It's hard to get another brother to collaborate or a sister to collaborate, to come together. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, that's still kind of I don't know if the word struggle is, but there's a strange rivalry. Like this is Tantu Cardinal. I think it was about 15 years ago. I wrote that play, Alma Relations, and she stuck her head in the door at the Friendship Center because she saw all the commotion. She said, "Who wrote this?" And I said, "I did." She said, "No, you didn't." Like that kind of jealousy, like Tantu's already. She was already a someone well known in the industry.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, about 5 years later, she saw me at an event in Saskatoon, and she saw me in a different light, and then she literally kind of humbled herself and gave me her phone number.
Yeah.
And to me, that's just one experience of what you say. Some people they won't share their professional experience with others to help and work together. That's part of a struggle that I've experienced over the years with other Indigenous entertainers, actors that don't want to share, but there's some that have been collaborative, like Nathaniel Arcan.
Yeah.
He and I got together at JJ Bean on Commercial Drive and started creating a project called Sister Daughter.
Yeah.
And that led to getting some singers like JB, the First Lady. She sang a song for it. Who else was in there that helped us? Some artists that came along and we collaborated. And that film won the award, Sister Daughter.
Yeah.
It was a missing and murdered piece.
Okay, yeah.
And we won awards in California and Toronto.
Wow.
And we shot that on a low budget. Just was able to feed the actors and crew. But that was, Nathaniel, he had a little trouble sometimes, but he worked through it. I was watching him work through, okay, we don't have that much experience, Nathaniel.
Yeah.
With some of our people, some of us are very first time and behind the camera.
Yeah.
And then we had people that were experienced with the camera too, and mic and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that this ongoing sharing of knowledge, like my old friend Dwayne Howard, the controversy of him over the years, what happened to him was unfortunate. But me and him, we created a lot of projects, and we taught theater for free at the Friendship Center for years. Me, Dwayne, and Sam Bob.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And me and Sam, we took a hiatus off it, and we thought maybe we should get paid. So we went for a grant.
Yeah.
And we did get a grant to pay me and Sam for instruction.
Yeah.
And we had a whole bunch of new young actors come up again from that over the last 2 years. But we took a hiatus.
Yeah. You know what you're saying there is the key is like didn't have a big budget, right? There was frustrations with levels of skill or what have you on the set.
Yeah.
That's what I look at in terms of what I foresee. Like I want to put together a band for my boys so they can play in front of a band while they do shows.
Yeah.
But people want to be paid like professional artists in order to do that. And I can't afford to pay you to come rehearse just because you're a professional and then pay you to come to do the show. Yeah. It's just not realistic for within our community.
Yeah.
But if we come together and we support each other and, like sharing an analogy with my wife, like if I call Curtis and I call this guy, that guy, and I say we want to make a stew and we're all, working on a budget, you might say I got 3 potatoes, and I might say I got a little deer meat, and we come together and we make a beautiful meal out of that, right? And we all sit together and enjoy this meal, and we leave there fulfilled and full of energy. Yeah. You know, that's how I look at the collaboration, how I envision it, and I want it, but it's not like that. Yeah. And what you just explained is what I envision, and you won awards, and that shows what can be accomplished if you get over it. You know, get over yourself.
Get over yourself,
Get over it. Because when we look at our brothers down south, they built BET. They built Def Jam. They built all of these things for themselves because they were excluded, and they had to build their own platforms. And so this is a lesson from them, that a roadmap that we have to set aside our differences, work together. I shared earlier about Tony Alexis sharing with me about Chief Tony Alexis sharing teachings about the personalities and the concepts of personalities. Yeah. And how the buffalo is a very extroverted, can come across as like a bully. But what he said was, you know, and when we look at all the buffaloes in our community, he says, if you can get all those buffaloes running the same direction, pointing the direction, how powerful that could be, right? And I kind of laid that over what we're talking about now, you know, to find that stronger together than we are apart. So yeah, that's you know, that's what I was thinking about that. But you also brought up another good point that I was thinking about, and we talked about Dwayne Howard. You mentioned Tantu Cardinal. Yeah. And in that, there was a word the ancestors were telling me. It was forgiveness. Yeah. You know, that's a huge thing in our community. Yes, that word forgiveness. There's so much trauma and hardships and hurt that everybody's carrying, and finding forgiveness is such a difficult thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think that we have to apply that in all aspects of our lives, especially in the creative platforms. Yeah. Because each human being is put in themselves in a vulnerable state to be an artist. Yeah. And if there's cross feelings or someone's being hurt, and how do you forgive that element of life? How do you do that? And I think that we can. I think that there's places and situations where everyone can have an opportunity to practice that specific character trait. Like I like that you brought Tony Alexis up. Russell Badger is an example of activating forgiveness at its highest reality. Yeah. His brother was killed in Saskatoon, and that guy that got charged went to prison, and his family asked him if he could meet him in prison, and Russell thought about it, and he said, "Okay, I'll do it." And he went to the Saskatoon Penitentiary, and he sat in a circle with elders and people where that man got to plead for forgiveness. I'm sorry, I take responsibility for what I did to your relation. I'm asking and pleading for forgiveness. And not for looking for peace for himself, but for his family. Not he wasn't searching that man. He said, but I want to, out of respect for your family. And Russell did. Yeah. He forgave him. And now that particular man, and I don't know his name, but Russell goes and talks about forgiveness in communities. He's gotten hired over the years for that, about that. So I think that it's possible, in creating that space for that. Yeah. Yeah.
I think, you nailed it. What you said is they had a healing circle. Yeah. And in our culture, our traditional practices, we have the tools and the mechanisms to heal.
Yeah.
That is like the root of our medicines,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of people are disassociated with that knowledge or that understanding of how that works.
Yeah.
I've had issues in my family where a younger relation of mine was taken advantage of by their youth worker, and they now have a family, 4 children, and for me, I always thought about, like, one of the biggest pieces about healing is learning to be accountable, right? To take accountability for your own actions.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find it in myself as a man to find forgiveness, and I didn't know how, and I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I wanted to catch this guy,
Yeah.
But I had to think about what are the tools our ancestors and our elders gave us to find peace for myself and to allow them to have a beautiful family today.
Yeah.
I felt like in their culture, his culture, a potlatch. Let's have a potlatch.
Yeah.
Your family, my family will come together, and you'll just own up to it. You'll acknowledge your wrongs and what you did, and you apologize to our family, and then we can accept your family, your children and your wife now, and move on and be a healthier version of what it could be.
Yeah.
Didn't happen.
No.
But the tools are there in our community to foster that healing amongst each other. Because I know that a lot of stuff happens in our community and a lot of people attacking each other.
Yeah.
I know that what makes your transgressions any better than the next person?
Yes.
We've all done something. I can't say everybody, but there's something in your past you're not proud of. Whether it was you're promiscuous and you don't want nobody to look at that and you just want to be somebody's wife or husband, or it could be something very significant. It's when can a person be redeemed from that past, and move forward.
Yeah. I like that you call almost like we have to create chunks of forgiveness. I may not be able to forgive yet, but I'm gonna take a little chunk.
Yeah.
A chunk of some buffalo meat. I'm gonna, I just take. Okay, I'm not gonna forgive all the way, but I'll take a little in. I'll take a little in at a time. So that they can. It's potential to reach a full, genuine forgiveness experience. I think that's possible. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I really hope that that does become more possible and more evident. I think about that in there are a couple examples, and what if a person who was accused of some sort of past behavior stood up in family night and said, I want to talk about that. And I want to apologize to the community. I want to apologize to that person for carrying myself in a certain way. And I want to move forward in my life. And because, when people come out of prison, they go to the Friendship Center to find a role or responsibility, to find acceptance, to find healing. So where are we supposed to go when you want to find healing? And then you kick them out of those circles. It's like kicking them out of the sweat lodge because they're drunk, right? Or using stuff. So how do we use that space? Because that centers can heal as well. But I know it takes an individual's own insight to be able to look at themselves and to say that this is what I want to do to ask for forgiveness from the community. I know that there were some issues with one of the singers in the community, and the drum keeper welcomes him to the drum, sits next to him, and looks at him as who he is today, because kicking him away from that, and I don't advocate, I'm not saying I support behaviors, but what I do support is that drum and the healing that it does for people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And by being there and maintaining that, it's keeping the person on a good path. And then when you kick them out of there, maybe they become abusers or victimizers again.
Yeah.
Because they went to what they were taught was for them to heal.
Yeah.
And were kicked out by the people who hold those things. Right?
Yeah.
It's a hard reality to think about, eh?
Mm-hmm.
But so we were talking about Robin Givens, and I couldn't help thinking about if you can pass me her email. I gotta tell her I got a movie I wrote too. I'll meet you at at this Black and Blue Steakhouse.
Yeah.
See how that goes.
Yeah.
So what do you got working on now? I seen there recently you had the Bones of Crows or something you're working on recently.
Yeah, I was on that. Yeah. It
was just a?
It was. They put a headdress on me and everything. They had me dressed up like an Alberta chief.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching the camera, and the director, they weren't sure about this particular scene. I could just see it.
Yeah.
But it was a piece where they tried to reenact Trudeau and all those politicians where they have a treaty meeting. And what's his name? Donnie Harris. I was 12.
Oh, yeah.
It was playing Harold Cardinal.
Yeah.
A little wig on him and everything. I looked at it. That's some bad. I don't know if they should use this because I was looking at Donnie looking at him. Even him too. He was a little kind of. This is weird.
Yeah.
To try to make him look like a young Harold Cardinal.
Oh yeah.
They sliced it. They cut it, and they just put Harold Cardinal on a TV. With those chiefs, like they found some old footage on a TV, and they used that scene.
Yeah.
But they spent a lot of money on that day with all those extras and making those other white actors look like Chrétien and Trudeau. They must have spent like a good $50,000 on that day specifically.
Wow.
Yeah, and Bones of Crows has done well over the years since it first got produced and shown in theaters. Grace Dove really got her career kind of moved more from that particular movie. Grace Dove is doing well. She's on Amazing Race Canada. Her and her brother.
Nice.
I think they're up. I think tomorrow night is.
Oh, they're still active. Oh,
I think they select the winner tomorrow night. 2 native teams on there.
Oh wow!
The guy, the greatest fan, Super Magoo from the Edmonton Oilers. Him and his sister are in the race too.
Oh, nice.
And Grace and her brother. So we got 2 native teams on there, and Don Burstick is he came to do a show here for free.
Yeah.
He asked me, "Hey, I'll do a show." He says. He's in town. He said, I want to take my cake here, my sobriety cake. I said, yeah, I can set it up for you, Don. You sure you want to do this for free? And he said, yeah, this is, and then do you think I should post it? And I said, well, it's up to you. I said, as soon as you post it, everyone's going to want to come. And he said, I'll post it. And it was only a few days to get a place. Eddie Taylor got us a place, and there was like, 400 people there in a couple days, and we honored Don's sobriety.
Nice.
Old Donnie Burnstick. Yeah, he's the one that's very vocal about people backstabbing. He puts it on Facebook all the time. Like, you'll see who your haters are, and he says one of the real challenges we have as Indigenous people, we're not supporting each other, and he's always posting it all the time, like. Goes around doing that, saying that, and he's right.
Yeah.
You know?
I know this kind of come to fruition over the last few years. I was going to, what's that pizza place on Commercial? Sunrise Pizza.
Sunrise, yeah.
I was going in with my family, and Curtis Clearsky was coming out.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And they're like, hey, what's up, bro? And we're talking, and he's like, yo, what's going on with your music, man? You still making music? And I was like, no, I'm getting old, and this, and And he was just like, bro, man, now's the time. Like, if any, like back when we used to do music years ago, it wasn't the time. He's like, but now's the time. And it really inspired me. And I started to, you know, get my stuff out and started to make some songs. And then it inspired my children. Now they're all performing, and they're at all the festivals performing now. And this space is, you know, kind of came from that just that one passing moment where he kind of re-inspired me to that it's not over, and you know, time is now, which is true, because now it seems trendy. It's almost cool to be Indian nowadays, right? So now you see all the you know, reservation dogs, flowers of the moon, like everything is like, it's really happening. Right? What do you think about that in the movement that's happening today? Do you see that happening?
I think that the old late John Trudell, he said that our time is coming. We're not quite there yet, but he said that years ago. Founding American, one of the founder American Indian Movement members said that. And I remember going to a meeting with him to meet Steven Seagal. And Steven Seagal was going to make the movie. He invested $50,000 in the Leonard Peltier story. He wanted to play Leonard Peltier. I happened to be at the right place at the right time to go with Floyd, Red Crow Westerman, Dances with Will Star, John Trudell, Clyde Belcourt, to Hollywood Hills to go to. He said, what am I going to do? And he says, you just act as our bodyguards. Okay. So I just went, and there they were, Steven Seagal, John Trudell, Clyde Belcourt, Floyd Crow Westerman, saying, don't make this movie, Steven. He says, what? Why the fuck? You're the second organization that's come tell me not to make this fucking movie. He phoned that guy in Seattle that wrote that script. I was right there. I saw it. And he said, these guys are saying that Leonard Peltier wasn't the founder of the American Indian movement. Is this true? And that guy didn't say anything because he lied. So Leonard Peltier is just the guy that was at the wrong place at the wrong time. It was John Trudell and Clyde Belcourt and Russell Means were the original American Indian movement. I was there. Now here's the mystery of coincidence about the right time. Steven Seagal is friends with one of my mentors, Phil Lane Jr. They're friends. And I said, do you think Steven would be interested in being a part of this movie that I sent Robin Gribbons? And he says, well, as long as he gets to play an elder. Well, there's an elder he can play in my movie. So he's talking to Steven. And I don't want to say, Steven, do you remember me? When I was that, you know, he might remember, he might not remember. But there's potential that Steven can come on board. He's living in Russia now. Steven Seagal, because of all the shit that he went through with the mafia, the Hebrew mafia. He signed a 5-picture deal with Warner Brothers, and he did 3 and he didn't want it anymore, so they blacked him out. They blackballed him out of Hollywood.
Wow.
So he's been doing his own movies since then.
Yeah.
So the potential of that, the timing, what Curtis is correct right now, the timing of being creative is absolutely correct in every aspect. Yeah.
You know what's cool, just to tie some things in, callbacks to our earlier conversation, is that Phil Lane had a workshop or a conference that he used to do, Four Worlds Institute. And he had this, it was called Healing, oh man, I can't remember the name.
Healing the Spirit Worldwide?
I think so, something like that.
Yeah.
But I went to that conference, and I took I didn't know who was there or whatever. I just took a chance, and I took this one workshop called Eagles Around the World or something like that.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And that's where I met Tony Alexis.
Wow.
Oh, and and his presentation was so moving, and his style.
Yeah.
And from there, I reached out to him and followed it up, and he came back out, and he did some work with my organization, Old School Arrows to Freedom. And then we stayed in contact, and he gave me the game of facilitating. He showed me how to do it, how to incorporate songs, and how to story tell, and so on and so forth. So it's cool that you mentioned Phil Lane, because that's where I met Tony Alexis, was at that conference, healing. Oh man, but it was a cool. And
Where
I missed
was it?
those
Was it in
conferences.
Edmonton or where was it?
No,
Do you
I think
remember?
it was, for some reason I want to say it was like Richmond or Surrey.
Oh yeah, yeah.
or
He was
something.
out there, doing stuff. Yeah.
One of the
Yeah,
two, like
yeah.
might have been one of the, and this would have been 2003.
Yeah, that one was in Richmond. I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty.
Phil has been a mentor and calls me his tongsha, his nephew.
Yeah.
So he's mentored me over the years to do the work that I've been doing. So because of Phil too, he helped me learn to facilitate. So the knowledge keeper today in me is I get called all over in the Lower Mainland and all over the country.
Yeah.
When I can, to go to communities, but even in the Lower Mainland, it's not that easy to be getting called to work. You gotta learn your skills culturally to get to that place where people are calling you to come. Can you come smudge my place? Can you come and pray at my place?
Yeah.
I just kind of accepted it,
Yeah.
Brooke, now that people see me as that, and so when I can, I'll do it. But it's tough work to do that.
How did you feel when you first started? I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I was working, and there was this lady's office I was in, and I was sitting in her chair.
Yeah.
And when she came back to the office, I got up, said, "Oh, I'm in the chair. I apologize." And she was like, "Oh no, that's okay. You're my elder."
Yeah.
When I first heard that, it just was like, what?
What?
So at the beginning of this, because I'm really struggling with, this year I'll be 50, so I'm really struggling with that part of it. Like, man, I'm getting to that point, you know. And I've been pushed for years to do stuff. I do help out wherever I can in those areas, circles of stuff. But I was really resistant, you know, and not willing to accept that part of life yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what I was going to talk about earlier, you know, was, you know, like I look at our spiritual aspect and stuff, like it's very important part of it.
Yeah.
You know, and another actor that I was talking with, he's doing some work on himself, and he's reached out to me, and I shared some encouraging words for him, let him know that, you know, I love him, and I'm always in his corner, and call me anytime, right, as he figures out his life and gets back on track. And I told him, you know, when you get back, come into your community and make connection, you know, and work with the people, and he was like, yeah, you know, I really want to give back, you know, I'm going to do that. And I was like, it's not about giving back, you know, it's about finding your purpose, you know, connecting with your community, learning through that, you know, learning through them of who you are and what you are and why, you know.
Yeah.
Once you get there and stuff, then you can start helping people, you know, then you can start giving back.
Yeah.
But I find that a lot of people, they will be fresh in recovery and or fresh in this way of life. All of a sudden they want to be the
medicine
elder,
people,
medicine people, and then outside of that, it's like they can tell you good stuff they've learned, good teachings and stuff, but you see in their own life, they can be very toxic in interpersonal relationships with other people, where it's like, I don't know. See, that's the part you need to work before you start everything else, you know, like the spirituality stuff is, when I look at it, your physical aspect, your spiritual, and so on and so forth. Your spiritual is one aspect, but your emotional aspect is where all this trauma and hurt is, and you're not doing the work there.
Emotional maturity.
Right?
Yeah, that's what that is. There's growth in that emotional part of the aspect.
Yeah.
People,
you feel good spiritually, and you know things.
Yeah.
But if I go, and I'm not doubting certain things, but if I went in the sweat lodge and I just broke my leg on my motorcycle and went there and said, okay, I need to get this healed now. I need to go to a doctor, you know, and get that dealt with.
It's interesting that the society I started is called Turtle Spirit Land-Based Healing. We're going into our second year. We got funding, so we're going after some more funding.
What is it called again, sorry?
turtle spirit land-based healing.
Okay, yeah.
We're getting people out of the urban centers into the land. But one of the skills that I was telling my cohort, James Hunter, who's from Six Nations, about how we've got to create a program or some course to teach people that a knowledge keeper, that some of our elders are just elders but never learned culture.
Yeah.
They don't have, some of them don't have any skills like that. They can't even facilitate. And they're 65, 70,
Yeah.
and they don't even know how to use their voice. So at 50, between 40 and 50, you can start learning some emotional, cultural skills that you can speak, but you've looked at your trauma.
Yeah.
You've looked at it. You went to one-to-one counselor. You went to some circles. You've done the inner work to get to the place where, yeah, you can call yourself a knowledge keeper. Is this one who knows and has learned, who sat with an elder, who sat with someone to be taught that. That's the old ways. They've learned to be a firekeeper for a while, and they wait for their time to speak. Yeah, they earn that, but they know that they're gonna make mistakes, but they're falling forwards. Yeah. Okay. And I've seen some Scapios, some helpers get mad because he messed up. And they just take off, and then the others kind of shake their heads, eh? And of course, everyone's cultural path is different. And the beautiful thing about our culture, Indigenous culture, is we're vast. Yeah. We're diverse about where we get our knowledge from. Yeah. And I think that's so valid in the West Coast here.
Just not Chief Wikipedia.
Yeah. People pull it off YouTube and singing Lakota songs and,
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I always say that your songs, your teachings, your knowledge, everything that you share with somebody, you should be able to tie that back to the person who gifted you that. And that might be might be a bit hard, but that's just how I feel about it. I worked for an organization, Indigenous organization, where they would say there's books up there about maybe it was the Tree of Life. Is that Phil Lane?
Yeah, Phil and Lee Brown,
maybe that was the book. They said, pull that book out and then teach these kids about medicine wheel. And I was like, that's not really how it works, and to, non-Indigenous people were asked to do the same thing, right? So, I mean, knowledge is knowledge, but I think really, I think if you say that you know Kung Fu, and I tell you, actually, Bruce Lee personally taught me, you're going to respect my Kung Fu.
That's right. Yeah.
So... But when you're talking, it made me think about trauma bonding. I think that's a lot of what happens, is where we can relate to the trauma, right? And we can bond over it. But I say this just to be mindful, because I know there's a lot of eager people who want to be in those positions to help people, and I think sometimes you can do more harm than good in that aspect. Yeah. So you got any new movies coming up or anything you're working on?
Well, I got my agent is always on looking at the worldscape of films all over the world, and she's got her eyeball on projects. Yeah. And I'm always ready for the next audition. I just auditioned for a thing called Diner's Bear. Yeah. And the Avatar movie. There's 2 TV shows that are being shot here. So that one goes till April. Yeah. Diner's Bear. Yeah. So those 2 casting directors know who I am. So I got a good shot on getting on Diner's Bear. Nice. It's a successful TV show. So I've been getting lucky, and I'm quite confident more than ever as an actor now. Yeah. Like they have the emotional maturity about okay, there's a time and a place for everything now. I'm writing that feature film, and I'm gonna start writing a TV series, a 13 half-hour episode. Yeah. That plays a guy that has a gift that, reincarnation. Yeah. He has a gift to see things before they happen, but it is it comes from his great-grandfather.
Yeah.
They're reincarnated. Where did he get this gift from? So that's what I'll be working on as a TV series, because Netflix wants TV Indigenous content.
I heard they took
Yeah.
reincarnation out of the Bible.
Did they?
And because,
Yeah.
back in the old days, they
Yeah.
used to just abuse these people so harshly as slaves and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And they read in the Bible that
Yeah.
there's reincarnation or what have you. So they stopped being able to motivate them because they just said, I'd rather die. So I heard they took it out of the thing, but so we've talked about like redemption, and we talked about healing, and those kind of seem like a natural ongoing theme of this conversation.
Yeah.
And again, talking about my bro that's on his healing journey right now, he talked to me a little bit about, and I've heard over the years, he's a bit ashamed about, mistakes he's made in the past and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was up there at one point, right?
Yeah.
And but he struggles with finding the self-love, I think, and confidence to get back out there and start moving forward again in that field of work. I know he has the aspirations to do it.
Yeah.
What would you tell him?
I would tell him to remember when he was great. It's still metaphysically real as I drink the water in the bottle. The water in the bottle is still real. Whatever he had back then, it still exists in the same bottle of water. So he can use that memory. I just got a picture I got my girlfriend take a picture of when I won a gold medal in 1984.
Yeah.
And for some reason I said, I'm going to win. I just locked it in. I'm going to win, and I won.
Yeah.
When all the odds were stacked against me,
Yeah.
I won. And I've done some films, I've done some TV shows, and they're real. So I tell him to re-engage that, re-anchor that, and feel the future like your future is grounded in that same experience, like feeling the future like it's already happened.
Yeah.
And I've heard ceremonial people talk about that too over the years. You hear that, be careful what you pray for. I think I'd like to add to careful what you feel for.
Yeah.
And then, because you never know if that trauma, you might reenact an experience. It's negative. So the imagination is a beautiful thing. So I tell your friend to feel his future roll like it's happened, because it's happened already.
Yeah.
It already happened to him. He had success.
Yeah. True.
But he crumbled, and however he crumbled, he can get it all back, tie his shoelaces back up again, and start believing that he can have a creative, active future.
Yeah.
Because I'm right there with my own journey by believing that I can feel my acting future continue to expand and grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. I feel like that with this podcast. Who says I'm not a podcaster or who says I'm not an interviewer?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
And I make it happen. I'm making it happen. Right. So I agree with that. And I want to say to everybody that's watched this or got to this far in the show is that, from what my brother Curtis is saying, remember the time that you were great.
Yes.
And go back there, drink from that fountain, drink from that spring. Because it's there still.
Yeah.
Still within you.
Yes.
Don't drink the tea and what everybody else is serving you. Remember that you're great and it's within you.
Yes.
And I just want to thank you, Curtis, for coming out and sharing some time with us. And anything you'd like to share before we wrap it up?
I think for all that have watched it, just before you go to bed, just feel what you want to create like it exists already. One little bit of wisdom, even if it's just a little bit, doesn't have to be a whole lot of time, just a few minutes of what would it feel like to be on a movie set or a TV show, or singing a song, some hip hop, see yourself in front of an audience, just going, just loving it, just feel it for a couple minutes before you go to sleep, because you feed your subconscious mind. It doesn't question whether it's real or not. It just takes it in as real. So try do that every now and then. Just see yourself already doing what you love to do.
Right on. With that, I'd like to say thank you to you guys for tuning in to Dopest Native Live. Once again, I'm your host, Rich Hunk, and this is my man, Curtis. Stay tuned, and we'll see you again.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Right on.
Right on. That was awesome, bro. Ahoo. Almost, eh?